What do I remember most about the video shoot? Well, it was cool that Marcus Raboy did it. You know what I'm saying? And Marcus is a very big time, director. Like, if you check him out, bro. And I gave him like one of his first joints. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did me. He did Mary J. Blige. If you look at the cinematography of like Mary J. Blige's first record, um, what's 911 or You Remind Me, all that was like Marcus Raboy. And he did Reminisce. He did Reminisce Over You. He did the video for Reminisce Over You. So we all clogged with Marcus in the beginning. And I think some of the coolest moments of that was when I was rocking under on the West Side Highway with Janet Jackson's, all the dancers, Fatima and all that. It was just a great feeling. The energy was real great. We just had all in New York City. All the blocks were lit up with all the lights. Like back then, videos were real productions. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
And we had a small. I mean, we didn't even give us a small budget. It was like $30K to do, but that was a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it, dudes are making videos nowadays for like $300 putting videos out. From their phones and stuff. It's
Right.
like it's just mad different. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I would say that just being in that and then having to see the big trailer for me with the makeup and all that, and then Pete coming down, Pete's in the video, he makes a cameo in the video. And then a real cool thing that I liked about videos is when they asked me to come down and I was actually in the Straighten It Out video. I'm in the Pete Rock and CL Smooth video for Straighten It Out. That was real cool. I have like my own little cameo. There's a scene where you see me in there. If you see it, he's spinning the record. We're in the record store, and then it just shots to a solo of me, just what I'm saying, just rocking out to Straighten It Out, because that's like one of my favorite records. Like me personally, Straighten It Out is like I just love that record. The vibe of that.
Absolutely.
What was it about Atlantic that you found appealing, and who else was during that bidding war?
Like I said, Epic was interested in me. Columbia was interested in me, and but Atlantic was just, I just, it was cool. Atlantic Records, like me, hip hop artists getting signed to a major label. Like I was wanted to. I thought at the time it would be a really great opportunity. You know what I'm saying? To make a real impact. Quickly, and but my music was real. My music was not. I don't really make pop music. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
there was some things with that that ended up like changing my path, and just a lot of signing to a major was maybe a good thing, but I don't know. Maybe if I was with an indie like Loud or something at the time, Def Jam, but they were kind of major indies too. So it just I signed to Atlantic. I did it. Sylvia, I believed in Sylvia Rome. I believed in my A&R. I believed in Eddie F. I felt he was guiding me in the right direction. And how could I say, he already proved to me, me and Pete made a huge, beautiful, great record, and he came through for me, got me a record deal, you know what I'm saying? Got me my first racks ever, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm like, damn, I think I should have got more, I would have got more, but I didn't even care, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even care, bro. I was just signed. Like I used to run out at that time, bro. We didn't have no cell phones or nothing. And there was a time where like I didn't even have a phone in my crib. And I was just running to the phone to where the quarters would change to the phone booth to call Untouchables, to call the office in New York City and stuff like that. That they gave me a Sky pager. I had a Sky pager from them. And that's how they used to connect with me. Like if I had studio time or if something was going on. And those calls were always exciting back then. You know what I'm saying? It was just wild, man. Some exciting moments for real.
Definitely.
At what point do you start working on your debut album, The Concrete? 92 is when your single drops, so how soon after that do you start working on your debut album?
That's the joint right there. That's my birth right there, for real.
Yes, sir.
Always will be. Um, I I started. Well, really, what happened was we did Let It All Hang Out. So now all that time now, I'm just promoting. I'm pushing. Let It All Hang Out. I'm out everywhere, bro. I'm all over the country. I did UMTV Raps with Ed and Dre. I was on UMTV Raps. I didn't live in color. You know what I'm saying? Like I was top 10. Let It All Hang Out peaked at number 10, number 6 in the Billboard hot rap singles chart. And I was going up against big records, bro. I was going up against Redman, Faking the Funk, Reminisce Over You, like a lot of big records, bro. House of Pain, Jump Around, like all those records. We were out all at the same time that summer in '92. You know what I'm saying? Wu-Tang was starting to come. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was just up. I was just Let It All Hang Out was vibing, yo. People were feeling it, you know, in the ghetto, everywhere, the hoods, everywhere. People was feeling Let It All Hang Out. And so I really wasn't making any new records. I was just really, you know, pumping Let It All Hang Out. And then Atlantic is like, yo, we have all this momentum. You got to get working on an album quick because we got to get this album out as soon as possible. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I was waiting to get some new records from Pete and stuff like that because they wanted some more records with Pete. And then things started getting slowed up because, you know, after there was a time, I think it's you know, there was some stuff going on with Pete and Untouchables, Pete Rock and CL Smooth and Untouchables. That's really none of my business at all. You know what I'm saying? And all I could do is do what I can do. And then I was under contract, so you know there was only so much I could do. But I just you know, from my father being in the music business, from me growing up in the business, from when I was young, I really knew I always could do this on my own. I never wanted to be rich from my music. I never did. It was never any of my intention. I was going to be happy. I said, yo, I just want to be free to live my life, make my music for the people, even if I just had a little small crib studio, but my sounds were out there, my energy was out there for the people. I was a happy soul. I'm really wired like that. I'm
Right.
still wired like this. Still wired like that. And so when all that stuff started happening, I was like, man, so I wasn't getting any music from Pete, you know, stuff was going on. And I was like, what's going on? I started using some of my relationships, you know, because I have people just from being around in the industry and just being around cats and just friends and stuff, you know, like I was cool with my man Big Red, and Big Red was an MC that Diamond D was working with at the time. Diamond was working with him. They were making a project. They had done a record called Monster joint, and came out on Payday Records. It was a single, and Big Red was my boy. We all were from the Bronx. They were from the Bronx, and I used to hang out with them and stuff like that. And you know, he linked me with Diamond, and then me and Diamond just really hit it off well. We ended up becoming real cool, and I used to just go to his crib. We used to just play chess, you know what I'm saying, and we used to just vibe. And then I was like, yo, D, man, I said, yo, I need to start making some records, bro. I said, you want to make some records with me for this album? And then D came on board, and he made some fat records. And then when I was down in Chungking, I was working in Chungking, and Trackmasters were in there, and we started talking and vibing, and we vibed good. And then I ended up making a joint with Track. I started A&R my whole project, bro. Like I started A&R my project myself, you know what I'm saying, and then just calling my A&R, you know what I'm saying, at Atlantic, and getting studio time, and then talking to Eddie F about getting them paid and all this stuff, you know what I'm saying, and I really A&R the Concrete album a lot myself, to be honest with you. Like most of it, I did. I didn't get another track from Pete, and then I just kept going. But all this now, I'm truncating this. This is going over a year and a half goes by. You know what I'm saying? Like this is like there's time going by, and Atlantic is like, where's the album? Where's the album? Blah blah blah. Bottom line, we made a great album. I worked with Ski, you know. I mean, God, K-Def. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I went to Marley's house, you know what I'm saying? And Eddie F was still in there. He was still working with me too and helping me get these projects done and stuff like that. But it was taking a real long time. And so by the time we got wrapped on the Concrete album, Let It All Hang Out was maybe like a year and a half old, right? And Atlantic is not so as excited anymore, you know what I'm saying, about my project. And it doesn't have any other Pete Rock records on it, you know what I'm saying? And at the time, it was weird. It was just the timing of everything. That's when they had first signed Brandy. And they had all these hip hop albums. They had me, they had Hard to Obtain, they had K Solo. You know, they had a bunch of good hip hop artists. We had a cool roster at that time, right? and me making some real noise. And bro, it was wild, bro. Like they started firing. Like we have fired like everybody at Atlantic Records. They had like this crazy clean house day, and another A&R. My A&R was fired, and Timmy Regisford became in there, and it was just wild, bro. And then all of a sudden, you know, I'm all excited. We mastered the album, The Concrete, and then I got to finish my album, and I made One for the Trouble, right? And One for the Trouble, I love that record, bro. I said, man, you know what I'm saying? I love the vibe of this record, One for the Trouble. That's the joint I made with K-Def. And we liked it as the next single. You know, Atlantic wanted to put out this other record. They liked this other. I had a lot of good records on there. And I was surprised of the record that they wanted to make the next single. That was a record called Day to Day that I had done. And we were like, nah, we want to do One for the Trouble. Like we think that should be the next single to set this up right. And Eddie F was agreed, but Atlantic had come back and they didn't like that. We kind of didn't want to go with what they were saying we should have went with for the next single. And then they offered me like a real low video budget for the single for One for the Trouble, right? So they made One for the Trouble the single, the 12-inch and everything, right? And when they told us with the video budget for it, I still think it was like 30,000. But Eddie was like, nah, he's just coming off and letting it all hang out. We got to go bigger. You know what I'm saying? So he kind of felt insulted in a way. And he had told me, he goes, yo, if you take this video budget and you make this video and the record and it doesn't really do nothing, blah, 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 that's on you. But if you listen to me and it doesn't work, then it's on me. I'll take care of it. You know what I'm saying? With that. You know what I'm saying? Well, he kind of like told me I should listen to him. Ultimately, I could have said, yo, I want to make the video for One for the Trouble and go about it and deal with it, you know? But I listened to Eddie because I felt it was only right, you know, because he was still handling me. And at the time, Eddie F didn't want to be a man. I was under their management too. And Eddie F didn't want to manage anybody anymore. It was becoming too hectic, I guess, for him. Mm-hmm. So he dropped us off from his management just when my album was coming out. Atlanta's like, yo, he's not even, who's his manager? You know what I'm saying? So I was scrambling for a manager, and I met with Big's manager, and I ended up going with my boy Ward Corbett, because we were friends together coming up to school, and Ward started working with Puff, and you know, and then I was just friends with Ward, and he was in the industry too, and he had just gotten an A&R job at Mercury and all that stuff. And I was like, Ward, you just want to manage me through this? And so he took me on. I just entrusted in it. And then one day he just called me one morning. It was crazy. And he was like, yo, now this is after, mind you, the Concrete vinyl was all pressed, promos were sent out. The 12-inch for One for the Trouble was out there. Flex was liking it. We were getting spins. It was doing great on underground radio. I was top 10 charts, college rap chart. You know what I'm saying? I was building with it, you know. But there was no video for it. And one morning I just got a call from Ward, and he was like, "Yo, they dropped you. They dropped that. Then I put the album was already out, but what they basically were saying is that they weren't putting a marketing plan together for the album. There was going to be no promotion for the album, and that was going to be the last single, One for the Trouble. So I tell you, bro, that day for me, bro, I crashed down to the ground, bro. I'll never forget that day. I was like, because I worked so hard to make that album for years. Right. And all the cats that came through for me, Ski, K-Def, Trackmasters, Diamond, you know, and we made a great album, yo. And it was like, and they just went with Brandy. They wanted to take all their resources and put it into Brandy. She had that single that was out, that was coming out, that was blowing up, you know. And I got dropped. Hard to Obtain got dropped. K Solo got dropped. Like everybody. It wasn't just me. Everybody got dropped. A lot of the hip hop artists, the real hip hop artists on Atlantic Records, got dropped. Their projects got cut. And it was a real cold day for me. You know, I didn't know what was going to happen after that.